Laura from Doggy U, and today we're going to be talking about a skill that's often overlooked when we're talking about dog training foundations, and that skill is offered attention. So that's your dog's ability and willingness to check in with you without you having to pester them or bother them to look up at you. So today we're going to be teaching your dog to want to check in with you. This is an important skill for engagement as well as furthering your goals towards an off-leash dog. So let's get started. Hey everyone, so if you haven't visited my channel before, I'm Laura. I'm a guide dog trainer instructor as well as a service dog trainer and have been in the pet training industry as well for 11 or 12 years now. So one thing that I see overlooked quite a bit is the dog's ability to want to engage with the human. This is step one. If you want to be able to train your dog, you first have to have a dog that's able to orient to you, look up at you and say, hey, what are we doing together? If you can't get your dog's attention, then you can't train them. And what I want, instead of me having to go, my dog's name, Jake, Jake, Jake. Every time I want him to do something, I want him to want to look up at me and check in with me and see if he can engage with me to start a training session. So today we're going to work on the skill of offered attention. This is something that you can do with your very young 8-week-old puppies all the way up to your older dogs. We're actually going to be working with my old dog Jake, who I've found has been a little less attentive lately. He's rounding somewhere around 12. He's a rescue, so we don't know exactly how old he is, but he's getting up there in age, and I've found that his skills are deteriorating a little bit, and he's really interested in the environment. So I'm going to go back to basics with him today and do some offered attention exercises. The nice part about this is something that you can train in just 60 seconds a day to practice with your dog. As always, you're going to start in an environment that's very neutral. Nothing's going on. You want your dog to be successful. So that means we're going to start in your kitchen or your living room or someplace where there's nothing else interesting going on. And as you work on the skill, you're going to progress to new places like going onto your back deck or your front driveway or maybe into the grass in your yard, and then bring that skill out into the world. So bring it to a park, a Walmart parking lot, wherever, so that you can practice this everywhere. Because dogs don't generalize well, and just because a dog can do something in one location doesn't mean they're going to be able to do it in another location. A really good example of that is my dog knows how to get a beer from the fridge, but if I bring him to your house and bring him to your fridge, he's not going to know what to do because he's never done that skill there. So it's really important when you're doing this offered attention exercise that we do it in at least 10 locations so that your dog understands that offering attention to you is one of the best things that they can do in a new environment. While today we're going to be working on a focused exercise on offering attention, there's a bunch of stuff you can do to help your dog learn to check in with you. So today's offered attention exercise is just one piece of the puzzle. The other thing you can do is games like the name game, which I'll link somewhere up here for you to check out, which is a great one to play as well when your goals are the ability to hike or be with your dog off leash. Also, recall is important for that. I'll link that somewhere up here too. And finally, just making sure that you're acknowledging your dog when they do the things that you want them to do. As humans, we're always tuned into the negative stuff that our dog does, but we do a really bad job of marking and rewarding behavior that we like from our dog. So when your dog is out in the yard and they naturally look up at you or come over to you to see what you're up to, you can mark and reward that with food or with play so that your dog wants to do it again. Anything that we mark and reward, the dog will do more of. Anything we reinforce, the dog will do more of. So that's something to think about in your daily life. What can you be doing to reinforce behavior you like in your dog, specifically them naturally checking in with you, which is such a useful behavior to have out on the trail. All right, let's get started with this short exercise. All right, so we're going to get started with the exercise. It's a very, very simple exercise, and we're going to be using Jake here. Jake is nearly 12 years old. He's my cattle dog mix. I got him as a rescue around 2 years old. He's going a little deaf, he's going a little blind, so he could use a little work on his attention to me, especially as he gets older. So this is a really great exercise for him to practice. So what we're going to do in this exercise is we're going to start by putting a treat on the ground. When the dog eats the treat, we're going to wait for the dog to look up at us. As soon as they do, we're gonna mark that. I'm gonna use a clicker, but you can also use the word yes. And we're going to immediately reward and put the treat back on the ground. So I'm gonna start by putting the treat on the ground. My dog's gonna eat it. As soon as he looks up to me or orients to me, I'm gonna toss another treat on the ground. When he looks up again, I'm gonna reward. Good. Now this dog is a little treat pouch wise, so I'm gonna alternate which hand the treat is coming from. He's gonna go run off and get it. As soon as he orients to me, I'm going to click and reward again. And remember that once you click, if your dog understands your marker system, you don't have to get the treat absolutely immediately because they know the treat is coming. So you can see how quickly Jake is eating the treat and then looking up at me. What we're trying to create is this loop where he's automatically looking up as soon as he's done with that eating activity. So we know that he knows what we want. Nice. Oops, sorry, bud. Got stuck in my hand. Nice job. Good. Very nice. So as you can see, this is a really, really simple activity to do with your dog. Now he is super on point today, so I'm going to show you really quick with Cool Whip as well, who tends to be less sharp as far as this kind of behavior. So let's check her out too. All right, Jake, go to your crate. So I've got Cool Whip here. We're going to do the exercise with her. Remember, if you have a service dog and you're not comfortable with having them pick up food off the ground, you can always get a bowl and do this exercise by placing the treat in the bowl. All right, so I'm going to start by putting the treat on the ground. As soon as she looks up, I'm going to click and reward. Now you can see she's a little slower. So what I'm going to look for here is for her reaction to looking back up at me to get quicker and quicker. And we'll know that she understands the exercise by how quickly she orients to me. Nice job. I don't necessarily want her sitting down, so that's why I'm going to put the treat on the floor. However, if she does lay down and she's still looking at me, I can absolutely mark and reward for that. Good girl. So I'm going to toss one away to have her get up. While she's over there, once she looks up at me, I'm going to reinforce. So it's a pretty simple game to play, and all we're doing is just marking that engagement with us. It's so simple and so important. If your dog doesn't engage with you, then you can't train them. So these are our foundational skills that we can use to get a dog who is engaged, ready to work, having fun. She got a double treat there. Awesome job, girlfriend. That's very good. Love it. And look how much faster I'm getting a response from her on this game. Good job. All right, good. Good girl. Awesome. So now that you've practiced that game inside with your dog, you're going to take it to lots and lots of different locations to work on it with your dog. Then the other point of this is that when you're around the house, out for a walk, out on the trail, wherever you are, when your dog engages with you, you want to mark and reinforce that. If for some reason you don't have your cookies on you, no worries. You at least want to tell them how amazing they are for engaging with you. So here's an example of that same activity, but outside in a more distracting environment. We've got more going on. I have a lot of coyotes and bears and all of that. A little rainy. Important to train your dog in the rain too, because your dog needs to go outside and be walked and do have all these skills no matter what the weather. So I'm going to start with putting the treat on the ground. Jake's going to find that treat. As soon as he orients back to me, I'm going to click and reward, click, reward, click, reward. And I can pattern feed from one side to the other. When he looks, I can also check his speed by putting the treat right in front of me. And as soon as he looks up from right in front of me, I'm going to reward. But I also want to check other locations. So if I toss the cookie that way, oh, here, buddy, it's over here. Look. If I toss the cookie over here, how long does it take for him to orient back to me? So we've lost the cookie. Hey, bud. Good boy. trying to find it with his sniffer. There it is. And as soon as he orients to me, I'm gonna reinforce. I can toss the cookie away. And you can feed some to the face if your goal, like for instance, if you have a dog that likes to play keep away, sometimes reinforcing from your hand to their face is a good plan, because that gets you coming back to me. But really what I want is for him to orient and look to me, which I'm getting a lot of here. And what that will result in is a dog that on the trail starts checking in with you. And you better bet that I get out of the car and start playing this game with my dog when I'm out on the trail. Nice job, my friend. Very good boy. All right, friends. That's it for our activity today. No excuses on this one. It literally takes 30 to 60 seconds to play this game. You can play it right before meals, while you're cooking stuff in the kitchen. Whatever it is that you have 60 seconds to spare, start training this with your dog and start training it everywhere, and you will get a dog that starts naturally checking in with you, which is the foundation to being able to do any other training that you'd like to do. All right, everyone, if you like this video and you want more access to training videos and content, and maybe you have questions about your training goals, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/doggyu, where we do a monthly Q&A answering your questions, as well as weekly bonus content, including training tips and videos every week. It's a more intimate space, so I get to answer a lot of viewer questions, which I absolutely love. And if you like this video and want more, make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell button so you get notified anytime a new video comes out. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below if you have questions. You guys have an awesome day and happy training.
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next video. Subscribe now and never miss an episode.